Part 1. The rose among daggers. They thought she was weak. They looked at her soft hands, her delicate dress, and the crown that sparkled too brightly, and assumed she was nothing more than a pretty thing, meant for display. They were wrong, so terribly wrong. Princess Illyria of Valedorn had spent most of her life behind walls, velvet walls, golden walls, walls that protected her from the world, but mostly from herself. What the court didn't know, what no one knew, was that at the age of 9, after an assassination attempt on her family, Illyria had been sent away in secret, not to a monastery like the nobles believed, but to a hidden fortress in the north where silence was law, pain was constant, and weakness was burned out of you. There, under the codename Shade, she was trained to become a shadow, a weapon, an assassin. The day they broke the wrong girl years later, Illyria returned to the palace. Beautiful, graceful, and seemingly harmless. The court mocked her. The princes from other kingdoms laughed behind goblets. One dared to spill wine on her gown, another whispered insults in her ear at the banquet. And the worst of them, Prince Kellen of Thorn-et-Volley, publicly called her rose with no thorns. Her fingers twitched under the table. She smiled politely. She didn't speak. Not yet. A mission beneath. The masquerade. That night, beneath the mask of silk and smiles, Illyria moved silently through the palace corridors. She wasn't there to impress kings. She was there for intel proof that Thorn-et-Volley was plotting to invade Valedorn in the shadows. She eavesdropped, listened, watched, marked every step, until she heard footsteps behind her. "Going somewhere, princess," a familiar voice drawled. It was Kellen. Only this time, his tone wasn't mocking. It was suspicious. He reached for her arm. Wrong move. In one fluid motion, Illyria spun, gripped his wrist, twisted and slammed him against the stone wall. Her dagger was at his throat before he could blink. His eyes widened. "You," he whispered, "you're not just a rose with no thorns," she finished coldly. She leaned in closer. "Next time you insult me, do it from across a continent." She released him and disappeared into the dark. A glimpse of something unexpected. The next morning, Kellen watched her from across the hall. She wore the same smile, the same silk, the same crown. But his gaze was no longer full of arrogance. It was full of something else. Respect and maybe fascination. Because now he knew. She wasn't just a princess, she was the storm behind the silence, the blade behind the beauty, and he couldn't stop thinking about her.